The Twins dropped 2 out of 3 to the Padres at Petco Park. A lot of red flags I'm going to tell you about on today's episode as the trade deadline's right around the corner, and it feels more and more like the Twins won't be getting that controllable starter it feels like they need so badly. It's all coming up on today's episode of Locked On Twins.
You are Locked On Twins, your daily Minnesota Twins podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome to the Locked On Minnesota Twins podcast. Today is Sunday, July 31st, and I'm your gracious host, Nash Walker. Today's episode is brought to you by Vroom. With Vroom, you can buy a car entirely online and have it delivered straight to you, so you never have to go to a dealership again. So next time you need to buy a car, just grab your phone, go to vroom.com, and check out thousands of great cars. Thanks for making Locked On Twins your first listen every single day on the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Again, this is Nash Walker, Season 3, hosting a daily podcast on the Minnesota Twins, Season 4, writing about the Twins at twinsdaily.com. I was in San Diego this weekend at Petco Park for the games Friday and Saturday, and I saw the Joe Ryan blow up Friday, what that means for the rotation, and then I saw a very nice win Saturday. Twins capped it off Sunday with a 3-2 loss. A lot of red flags this weekend in many areas for the Twins as the trade deadline is 48 hours away, less than 48 hours away. The deadline is over, and the Twins will not be able to make additions to this roster. They're 1 game up on Cleveland. They're 2 games up on Chicago as of Sunday night. That'll hold until Monday, at least midday Monday. Twins play Detroit at home for 3 and then Toronto at home for 4 to kick off August. But red flags this weekend. Here's the thing. I've said it before. No matter what additions the Twins do or don't make at this deadline, if Joe Ryan pitches like Joe Ryan pitched on Friday night, this team ain't going anywhere in the second half. He was not good. And, being there and in that environment and watching some of these home runs, some of those homers barely got out. And I know that at Target Field, some of those homers would not have left the yard. And what we know about Joe Ryan is he's a fly ball pitcher. This is not to excuse giving up 5 homers in a fairly important game on the road for the Twins this weekend. That's not an excuse. He needs to pitch better. But I did see some of these fly balls just leave the yard, and I think you could probably see that on TV as well. Some high fly balls, but they hit him hard. Ha-Seong Kim ripped one. Manny got him. Voit got him. They got to Joe Ryan. Certainly, he gave up 10 runs in that game. So scratch that one. Offense had no chance in that game. They did have an opportunity there. Miguel Sano struck out. He's now on the injured list again with a knee problem. Injuries this weekend, injuries galore as well for the Twins, unfortunately. They had an opportunity when they were trailing 4-1 with runners at first and second and nobody out, and it was strikeout double play. That threat was over. The next inning, the Padres, tack on to that lead, and the game's basically over. If Joe Ryan pitches anything like that, they're not going to win in the second half. They could go get Mahle. They could go get Montas. They could go get Syndergaard and Eovaldi and all these guys. And if Joe Ryan pitches like that, it won't matter. They need him. And this is part of what I've talked about. It's a problem that you're relying so much on a rookie starter this year. He's going to have ups and downs. Rookie starters have ups and downs. And for Joe Ryan, that's certainly the case. He's going to have ups and downs. He has had ups and downs. His ERA basically is up by a complete run after that Friday night abysmal outing. So things like this with a rookie starter, they're not expected, but it's not out of the ordinary, right? These things happen. And when you rely on a rookie starter to be your second best pitcher in your rotation of a team that has aspirations to win the division and make a run in October, it kind of tells you how this staff was built on, as a glass house. It's a glass house. It's made of straw. It's made of straw and glass. That's what it feels like, this pitching staff. And you've kind of seen that over the last couple of months. Losing Bailey Ober really hurt because they were relying on him as well as their number 3 starter. So that has certainly hurt them. The offense this weekend, it was really interesting to watch this offense because, as I said, they had an opportunity Friday night, especially I think that was the 4th inning, top of the 4th, maybe top of the 5th against Blake Snell, who pitched pretty well in that game. They had an opportunity. And then Saturday, the offense tacked on late. They had a great 8th inning, 5-run 8th, Carlos Correa comes through with a huge home run. Buxton homers in games 1 and 2. The offense comes through in a key time in game 2 to set up for hopefully a series win on Sunday. And then Sunday, they just kind of fell flat. And listen, Sean Manaea is a good starter. Like, he's a good mid-rotation starter. He ain't an ace. And Sean Manaea has been really bad recently. And he pitched okay, I thought. Miranda got him. Miranda's been a beast, man. How awesome is Jose Miranda? He's just a monster. I talked a couple weeks ago about how maybe Jose Miranda could be a trade chip for the Twins to get a starter. I wouldn't trade Jose Miranda for any starter who might be available. Out of the starters we know are available, I'm not including Jose Miranda in one of those packages. And this is somebody who's like very willing to trade prospects, very willing to trade young pieces off the roster. I think Jose Miranda is the real deal. I've been saying it for a long time. I've been saying it since last year, basically, that this breakout is real. He's the real deal. And the offense was good yesterday. They tacked down runs late. They found a way. And today, their best chance was in the 5th inning. And they had runners on. Byron Buxton comes up and strikes out with 2nd and 3rd and 1 out after a nice sack bunt from Caleb Hamilton. And then Jorge Polanco has a terrible at-bat. He swings at a first pitch in the dirt, swings at the second pitch, 81 miles an hour off the bat to short, easy play, inning over. You need more from Jorge Polanco, period. And Polo's a guy I'll defend until the end of time because I think he's super underrated. He's certainly the most underrated player on this team, and I think he's one of the more underrated players in baseball. He's got to be better. You have to be better in those spots. That was their best opportunity the whole game. And when you don't have Gio, who's on the paternity list, he should be back Monday. You don't have Kirilloff, who can barely swing a bat, and he looks like he's going to be down for a while. We'll discuss what that means later. The bottom third in the lineup was rather weak today. It's Caleb Hamilton, Tim Beckham, and Gilberto Celestino. That's a weak bottom third. So if you get to the top to the middle of the order and you have a chance to score, you need to score those runs because you know the bottom third is not as strong as it usually is. And that's kind of what happened today. They just ran out of opportunities. They made too many outs offensively. And with the bottom third today, that was expected. The top of the lineup needed to get it done, and they just did not. What Alex Kirilloff's injury means, what I think of the Luis Castillo deal to Seattle, what it means for the Twins, it's all coming up after this word from LinkedIn Jobs. As you gear up for fall, you need the right people on your team to help your small business fire on all cylinders. LinkedIn Jobs is here to make it easier to find the people you want to talk to faster and for free. Create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 810 million people. LinkedIn Jobs is great. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnMLB. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnMLB to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Thanks again for making Locked On Twins your first listen every day. The MLB trade deadline is August 2nd, Tuesday, and Locked On MLB has all the breakdowns. Locked On Twins will have rapid reactions to any move made. Subscribe now to Locked On Twins on YouTube or on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, so you get notified when each episode premieres. Alex Kirilloff, wrist, not good. Not good at all. Not good in the present, not good for the future. It hasn't been good in the past either with Alex Kirilloff's wrist. This lineup has a whole nother dimension to it when Alex Kirilloff is right and swinging the bat well, because he is a left-handed bat who they need. And they have good right-handed bats in Byron Buxton and Carlos Correa. And when you pair that with 3 good to great left-handed bats in Luis Arraez, Jorge Polanco, and Alex Kirilloff, that's a treacherous 1 through 5 for a pitcher. And then you have Gio Urshela who can hit. You got Miranda who's completely broken out. So actually, in theory, you have 3 right-handed hitters who are crushing the ball, or can. Correa had a 1 for 20 week. The homer was big, but he's got to be better. Correa, Buxton, Miranda, and then you have Polanco, Kirilloff, and Arraez. That's 3 righties and 3 lefties. Polo's a switch hitter, but a better left-handed hitter. That's 6 guys in your lineup, and you got Sanchez, Urshela, and Kepler. And Kepler's on the injured list now, too, with a broken pinky toe. Apparently, he's day-to-day, so hopefully he's back right when his 15 days is up, and he's going to try to play through that. But losing Kirilloff is a huge blow. It's a huge blow for the here and now, because when he was healthy, and he hasn't been good in July, you've noticed he has not looked the same in July. And Nick Nelson pointed this out on Twitter. His ground ball rate is sky high in the month of July. That usually matches up with his wrist. Rocco Baldelli said he hasn't been taking aggressive swings because his wrist is hurting. He can barely swing the bat. This could be a season-ending thing for Alex Kirilloff. Again, if he has to go through another surgery, it could be over for him. And that sucks for right now, but it sucks for the future. Like, it doesn't feel like this is ever going to be figured out for Alex Kirilloff. It really doesn't. Like, this is multiple years in a row, starting in 2019. He had this problem in 2019. This is, 2020, it was a lost season, but that's the last 3 full seasons he's had wrist problems. Wrist problems for a hitter, disastrous. And you worry, and it's scary because he's such a good hitter. When he's right, he does everything. Like, he can hit for power, he hits for average, he goes to the opposite field. He does everything you're looking for in a good young hitter, and he's left-handed, and he's big and strong and a presence in the middle of the order. It just sucks, man. It's a huge bummer. It was a huge bummer when he got shut down earlier this year. But I will say back then, things were looking really down at that time too. And then he came back, crushed, and was very good. It's just, how many times is this going to happen? How many times is going to have to be shut down in the middle of seasons with wrist soreness? It sucks, and it sucks for the Twins because this lineup is a lot shallower without a good Alex Kirilloff. He just gives them a whole nother dimension when he's right. The upside of the group is raised tenfold when Alex Kirilloff is in the lineup and he's swinging the bat the way we know he can. It sucks. We'll wait to hear more. I don't know what's going to happen next with him. Shut down, surgery, rehab. I don't know what's going to happen with Alex Kirilloff. What I do know is that this is a huge blow for the Twins. And now you lost Kepler and Kirilloff and Larnach. That's a lot of left-handed pop you're missing. Larnach hopefully back soon. A lot of people asking me, like, when's Trevor Larnach coming back? We haven't heard an update recently. That doesn't mean it's a bad thing. We just haven't heard an update. But they're missing some left-handed pop in the lineup. They're missing talented left-handed bats in the lineup. And I know Kepler, the batting average is low. Even the on-base numbers, the slugging numbers are low. He still provides some steadiness as a left-handed bat in the middle of the order. He's certainly better than Gilberto Celestino at the plate. So you're missing those guys. Hopefully Kepler and Larnach are back soon. Hopefully Kirilloff is back soon. I don't know the next steps for him. I just know it sucks. And that sucks for him. It sucks for the Twins. And it sucks for fans who want to watch him because he is such a talented and good player. And it's unfortunate, but it's not surprising given the way he was swinging this month. It's not surprising to see. So what are the Twins' needs at the deadline? What does the Luis Castillo deal mean for the Twins in their pursuit of starting pitchers? What does this series mean for the Twins in their pursuit of additions at the deadline? Do they need another corner bat? Where is the biggest need as we are less than 48 hours away from the trade deadline? I'm going to tell you after this word from BetOnline. BetOnline.net is the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your betting needs. Find all your favorite sports and events at the #1 online source for odds, lines, and games. Find reviews and news of every league, including Major League Baseball, the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports wagering information. From live in-game betting, scores, and podcasts, they have you covered. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to learn more about the action happening today. BetOnline is where the game starts. Again, go to betonline.net. They have everything you're looking for. You name it, they have it. BetOnline.net is where the game starts. The Reds. Universally, everybody believes the Reds got a haul for Luis Castillo from Seattle. On the one hand, Luis Castillo is very good. We've talked about Luis Castillo as a Twins target. We knew he was going to be super expensive. Yes. On the other hand, it feels like this was even bigger than expected. Like multiple top 30 prospects for the Mariners. Their top prospect, I think, Noelvi Marte is a borderline top 10 prospect in baseball. The Twins just don't have that. And so I'm sitting here today, Sunday night, and I could be so wrong, but I've never felt more pessimistic about their chances to get Tyler Mahle or Frankie Montas because there are clear tiers here. You have your controllable starters, now 2 left after Castillo. Now the price is up on Montas. Ken Rosenthal writing that the A's are going to want a similar package, and they're probably going to get it. And the Twins just don't have that to offer, and they're not going to reach so deep into their prospect pool to make up for the lack of frontline talent in their system to do that. It seems untenable. Maybe Mahle's more realistic. You have those 2 at the top. Then your next tier is Noah Syndergaard. the rentals, Syndergaard, Quintana, maybe Nathan Eovaldi. The Red Sox are probably going to sell now because they're not playing good baseball. They won Sunday. They're kind of stuck in the middle. They're not a guarantee to sell or to buy at the deadline. The Giants with Carlos Rodon, who's a rental, essentially has an opt-out. He can leave. He's in that next tier of rentals. I mean, if Rodon was controllable, he'd be the number one target because he is a bona fide ace. There are some shoulder concerns. And also the Giants they're not super motivated to get rid of Carlos Rodon. Like they can just hold on to him, offer him the qualifying offer. If he rejects, they get a draft pick for Carlos Rodon. So they're not super motivated to deal him for just anybody. And I also think the Giants still feel like they have an outside chance at the playoffs. And maybe that's far-fetched. They're at 20-something% to make the playoffs. But Rodon, Peterson, Jock, that would be another angle to the trade deadline the Twins could possibly go and explore. And we'll see. It'll maybe get crazy as we get on the day and the Giants are deciding what they want to do. But it is slim pickings for starters. And there are so many teams in the mix who need starting pitching. Everybody needs starting pitching. Do you see the Twins paying a premium for Tyler Mahle, Frankie Montas, or even, I think Syndergaard is attainable. I think if they don't even get a Syndergaard for the rotation, like someone on Syndergaard's level, I'll be shocked and disappointed. Clearly, like that he should be attainable, and frankly, Mahle and Montas should be attainable as well. But at this point, with what the Reds got for Castillo, and with how many teams we know are interested in Frankie Montas and interested in Tyler Mahle, are the Twins willing to part with a bunch of prospect talent? And B, even if they are, is that enough to beat out other offers? And that's why I'm more pessimistic than I've been throughout this entire trade deadline experience about them going to get a controllable starter, because now we're hearing, the Twins might not be one of the final teams in on Montas. And Dan Hayes says they're still interested. They're still in the mix as far as interest goes. So maybe they surprise us a la Correa in the offseason and go get Frankie Montas. But the tricky thing about the trade deadline and why there's some tricks about free agency too, with a lot of starting pitchers not wanting to go to Minnesota and pitch in Minnesota, which I understand. A lot of it is the Twins don't offer enough money to said pitchers. But at the trade deadline, you can't woo Frankie Montas. He doesn't make the decision, right? You have to bring the heat with your offer. You have to offer something that is above and beyond the rest of the offers on the table. And the Twins, when you compare their system to the Yankees or the Cardinals, they don't have it. They don't have the frontline talent. It's hard unless the A's were obsessed with Spencer Steer. And we have heard from our friend Darren Wolfson that the A's do like Spencer Steer. But unless they were obsessed with Steer, or you were willing to part with Miranda, which that would be tough to swallow. That would be really tough to swallow. Unless one of those things is true, and the off chance one of those things is true, it's just hard to see a scenario where they are outbidding other teams for Frankie Montas or outbidding other teams for Tyler Mahle. I think Montas is even more far-fetched than Mahle. I think Mahle feels, reasonable, but still, it's the same questions. It's the same situation. Do they have enough to outbid other teams who need starting pitching, who are in better positions than the Twins? I know the Twins are in first place, but the Yanks are how many games up in the East, knowing that they're probably going to be in the ALCS at a minimum, and they need starting pitching, and they know that their window's wide open. For the Twins, they're watching this Twins club over the last couple of months, and I don't know if they're going to think it's worth it to up everybody else and go get Montas or Mahle. It remains to be seen. We'll see. That does not exclude relievers, who they should absolutely be getting at least a good reliever for the back end of the bullpen. Now, the Rockies extended Daniel Bard. He was my number one target on the relief market for the Twins. They extended him. Made no sense to me. I thought for sure he was getting dealt. They extended him. Now it's Robertson, Michael Givens, Anthony Bass in Miami. I think the Twins could get creative here if they could fill multiple holes in one deal. And I set up this 3-team deal I thought was interesting, and it's not taken at my word or anything like that, but just an idea. If you set up a 3-team deal where you give up significant prospect value and you get a reliever and a starter in return, a reliever from one team, a starter from another team, they help each other out. Everybody helps each other in a 3-team deal. If you can make that work and fill 2 holes with one trade, that would be game changing at the deadline. And then you can go out and get a catcher as well, or then you can go out and get a corner bat as well in a separate deal. It's when you start racking up 2, 3, 4, 5 trades, it's really going to hurt in prospect capital. It's a really interesting time for the Twins. This is going to be fascinating. I think what they've seen lately out of this team is what we've been saying for weeks now. I don't know. I mean, when you watch them, you certainly don't think that this looks like a team that can make a run at a World Series. I mean, they feel really far away from that. And on the flip side, if they win the division and they get a home series at Target Field and they break the losing streak, if they're able to do that, that would be great as well. And it's always worth trying to win. It's always worth trying to win. So I think they're grappling with those things. I think they will get better. I know I sound, more somber about it than I have in the past in the last couple of weeks, but I still think they will get better. They will be better when they exit the trade deadline. The question is just how much better and how many chips did they push into the table at the deadline. Fascinating stuff. I'm so interested to see what's going to happen. Again, I'm going to be ready to go with live reactions. Subscribe to Locked On Twins on YouTube. Get ready for the trade deadline. I will be back on Tuesday. Thanks for making Locked On Twins your first listen today. Now make your second listen the Locked On MLB podcast. MLB expert Paul Francis Sullivan brings humor, passion, and unique perspective on every team and the biggest stories around the league. Follow the #1 daily league-wide podcast, Locked On MLB, on the Odyssey app, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day. Go Twins. We'll talk to you Tuesday at the trade deadline. You won't want to miss it.